This load's a continuation from my last video where I was headed from Texas with some steel tubing. I pulled into this place on Saturday night, and I wasn't expecting to get unloaded until Monday. And this guy knocked on my door Sunday afternoon, which was great timing. I was actually getting ready to go for a bike ride, so if he'd come a little later, I may not have even been there. He knocked on my door and he said, "Hey, do you want to get unloaded today?" And I was like, yes, please. So it's kind of an interesting spot, not a ton of room to work with. As you can see with me doing my tarps here, I kind of had to get creative rolling them up. But these lengths that are on this trailer here, they're all the same length, 33 foot. A little bit difficult to maneuver around this small yard, but this guy was really, really neat. We hit it off, got a good flow working together. Even just pulling these straps here, he knew that he could get started unloading certain units, while I was getting the rest of the straps taken care of. Really cool when you can find an operator that you can work with this way, where you guys are kind of like working together as a team. I throw a lot of straps. It takes me a little bit longer to roll up my straps. Some people say it takes me longer because I don't have a strap winder. I'm dubious about that. It might be true, but I'm pretty darn quick at rolling straps by hand when it comes right down to it. Just been doing it for a while. So here he is unloading me, pulling back and forth, working together to get those. Otherwise, I would have had to, leave the yard, turn around, and then come in from the other direction, pull in instead of backing so he could get to that stuff, which was not something I wanted to do. So I'm glad that he had the forethought to, do it this way. Everything worked out pretty good. When you can get somewhere and be set up for a 34-hour reset and then end up getting empty a day before schedule, puts your whole next week on the right track. I just can't think of many scenarios that are that much better in trucking, to be honest. Monday morning, after I was empty over there, I headed over to Los Angeles, picking up these short steel coils. This is an interesting spot over there in the city where you have to kind of be out on the street and everything's a little chaotic. You got train tracks, you've got traffic, these guys working around it, but we made do and we got it done. I posted this little short as a reel on Instagram and also on TikTok, and I got some comments about, well, why would you use straps? Why aren't you using chains? Two reasons. The first is that the straps work really well in this situation. And the second is the customer asked me not to. And saying that out loud makes me realize that I have those orders reversed. I mean, what the customer asked for is probably the most important as long as it's safe, But in this instance, the FMCSR actually only requires special securement practices for coils that weigh more than 5,000 a piece or grouped together. These are all way less than that. Worked out pretty good, to be honest. Quick little pit stop there in Redmond on my way up to Washington with those coils to get my name on my truck. As many have pointed out, yes, I know it is crooked. My name was crooked on there, but it didn't bother me too bad. It was kind of cool to get my name on the truck again. They didn't get it done for me when I first got issued, because it was kind of like a rush job getting out there, but pretty cool. This is getting those unloaded. As you can see, again, working pretty good with the operator with the strap situation. He pulled, opposite sides for me, and kind of we worked together to where he was able to get what he could get to without, me having all the straps done, and we kind of found a flow. It was pretty nice. And getting those locked down again. And tomorrow, this was on Wednesday, so the next day, Thursday morning, get set up here. I was pretty proud of getting this sunrise shot there, getting this load worked. And this one was a lot of fun because I like picking up at sawmills. I used to work in a sawmill, so there's like a big nostalgia thing that comes in with pulling into a mill and getting ready to go. This guy was a super cool guy running the forklift there for me. He mentioned to me that this wasn't his regular gig. He was sort of just filling in. They've been short-staffed, so he wasn't that familiar with loading trucks and not that familiar with loading semi-trucks that weren't the oversized trucks that you see in the Pacific Northwest. So because of my time in the mill, I kind of had some transferable knowledge about building out a load like this. So was able to kind of help him put the load sheet together, and we got it done together, getting everything separated correctly and on the trailer right. So pretty cool. As you can see, my standard MO, just going crazy with straps, and I throw them from both sides. Try to get an even amount from each side of the trailer to disperse the tension correctly. I have at least 12 more straps on here than what's necessary to be legal, but I'm going all the way across country. This is going to Ohio, so I want to make sure to have everything good and tight and snug. And I don't know, I've just sort of adopted a philosophy of I'm going to throw the most straps possible, and do the best job I can do to protect the freight. It's just a little bit of mental insurance for me as I'm driving down the road. I don't have to stress near as much going down the road. Is the freight going to be okay? Is it going to shift if I get in a situation where I got to get on the brakes or something like that? This is one of the places that you've got to do the tarping station, they call them. I've got to put the fall protection on, which is that harness linked to a cable that is kind of like your seatbelt. If there's a sudden movement, it'll stop and leave you hanging there so you don't fall to the ground. And I don't enjoy them, so because of that, I try to just get both tarps undone as quickly, as efficiently as I can, and then get down to the bottom and work the rest of the load from the bottom, from the ground. That way I don't have to be up there any more than I have to, and I can get that gosh darn dog leash off of me. Here I've got a little bit more finagling to do. This tarp job was funny. It was just kind of fighting me all kinds of different ways, just about every direction, just because of the shape of the load and some other things that were going on with the broken cord that I had on this tarp, and just little things getting in the way. And I kind of was just rushing through it, to be honest with you, because after this load was home time for me. I was going on vacation, going on some camping trip with the family, and I was just anxious to get down there and see them. And we had some camping reservations up there in North Idaho where we like to hang out, and this was up in Northeast Washington, so I wasn't far off away. Once I got this loaded, I was going to be headed down there and meeting up with the family. So I could have done a little bit better about getting things matched up and get everything going just exactly right, but it turned out pretty good. And as I'm recording this, I'm in Billings, Montana. I've been a few hundred miles down the road with no issue, no wind issues as I was going through that windy stretch there on 90. For folks of you that know, that have driven through there, west of Billings, between Billings and Bozeman there, and fared pretty well, even though the gusts were up there around 30 miles an hour, I think, today, blowing me around pretty good. But those tarps were looking great behind me, so it's kind of how you measure the job, practicality. You obviously want it to look nice, and you want to be able to be proud of the work that you do going down the road. But at the end of the day, practicality kind of trumps everything else for the most part when it gets right down to the business on this stuff. But yeah, so like I said, I had to fix some broken cord and had some other things going on with this tarp job, but in the end it turned out pretty decent and got me home for the important stuff.